Hey everybody, it is Wavy697. Today we're going to be reacting to this video. The Ben Simmons comeback is real. Now, if you ask me personally if I think Ben Simmons is going to come back, I'd tell you a hot no. I think he's going to retire in like a year and be the biggest bust in NBA history. But don't mean it really enough from Ben Simmons. Way better at basketball than I am. But let's see what he has to say. Maybe he can change my mind.
Last season was hands down the worst season of Ben Simmons' career.
Yep,
In his first season playing with the Nets, he averaged just 7 points,
that's bad.
6 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, all of
That's
which
tough.
were well below his career averages.
And one thing about Ben Simmons, I'll say for real, is that he's got all the talent in the world. He just his attitude. It's like the opposite of Mamba mentality.
The player that was called the next LeBron when being drafted, and who had made 3 All-Stars and 1 Rookie of the Year in his first 4 seasons, had seemingly fallen off a cliff. This came.
It's like you think he got injured, but it's not. It's like he just had such a sudden change in his mentality. That just shows how much mentality matters in the game of basketball.
After he held out to start the 2022 season with Philadelphia, demanding a trade and citing mental health issues. It's fair to say that by this point, many people are turned off to a guy who was once one of the league's brightest young stars.
Hey, listen, I feel it for NBA players. They got so much pressure on them to be great, and every time they do something slightly like have one bad game, they got the whole media saying that they're a bust.
His inability to shoot the 3 has also led to a lot of taunting online. So when news came out that he is coming on strong this offseason, people were quick to blow it off and say, not this again. But I want to actually go against that narrative. The way people are responding seems to imply that he has been horrible for years and is continually being pushed as a comeback player in the offseason. That's a false narrative and just
Hey, listen, I will say this though, is that you know what he was talking about, how like every year Ben Simmons does like the same where he switches like threes in the offseason. That doesn't mean he's a good 3-point shooter. Every NBA player can shoot when he's not in an NBA game, but it takes a really good shooter to shoot while they're in an NBA game, like Steph Curry. Like even Steven Adams can drain him. And Rudy Gobert, like off the court, he's got one of the smoothest jumpers I've ever seen in my life. But on the court, it's a different story.
Untrue. Ben Simmons only had 1 bad season. He didn't play in 2022, so that can't be used to say he was awful. This past season has been the only one where he wasn't an extremely high-level starter at worst.
And if you ask me, I think that the reason why Ben Simmons had such a good rookie year is because he had a whole other year to prepare. So like you see, every good rookie is that like in their second year, if like a second year rookie versus like injured in the first year, that's pretty much the best rookies because they already have like time to get ready. And like I think that's why Chat might come back and win it. Although I got my money on Victor, I'm not betting nothing, but you know.
The thing that stood out to me from the report was that he is being called 100% healthy, and the most healthy he's been since Philadelphia, where in his last season he was an All-Star and second in Defensive Player of the Year voting.
But in the playoffs, had a wide open dunk and passed it up for a contested layup, but we don't talk about that.
It seems to be ignored because people love to hate him that he was dealing with a back injury all of last season, which can be a long-lasting problem.
That's probably what it is.
But it seems to now have healed, which allows Simmons to become a dominant two-way force once again.
Hey, here's the thing about Ben Simmons, right? Is that he's got game. He's got everything it takes to be great. What he needs now is that mentality, not just work ethic, but he needs that mentality, that confidence to take the shot. You know, I heard this saying off this commercial one time, but what separates good players versus great players is that some players are hoping they don't get the ball because they're so scared to mess up, and other players are hoping they get the ball so they can shoot their shot.
Again, not only am I predicting that he'll win the Nets starting point guard spot, I think he'll be an Eastern Conference All-Star for the.
He probably will be starting, but he won't be the star. I can tell you that. The star is going to be Mikal Bridges, and if the Nets like GM says otherwise, then Mikal needs to get up out of there because they know good and well that he's a star.
4th time next season. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the incoming comeback season from Ben Simmons, if you enjoy my content or watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing.
Dang, man, 96 to 3.9. Hey, listen, man, I'm subscribed, so you don't got to worry about that.
96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel.
Hey, listen, This is on BH24, which is Big Herm 24. Go subscribe to his channel and watch his video first. This guy is a real one.
Ben Simmons is getting back to normal, according to multiple reports. On Thursday, SNY's Ian Begley reported that Simmons is 100% healthy after missing the last 2 months of the regular season because of a back injury. Simmons hasn't had any setbacks in the offseason, and now that he's no longer rehabilitating the injury, he is doing skill work and conditioning to gear up for training camp. SNY reported.
The question is, though, is it getting better or just maintaining his current skill?
Citing league sources. On NBA Today on Wednesday, ESPN's Mark Spears cited a source close to Simmons, saying that he is on the right track and close to being ready for the regular season.
That's good.
The full quote, which Spears read aloud, "I would say he's in the final stage of prep for the season and he has passed every benchmark and is as healthy as he has ever been since his last year in Philly."
That's a good sign.
Brooklyn has been incredibly supportive and the plan is for him to be the Nets point guard.
Hey, listen, that is pretty good, but if you ask me, Brooklyn, I don't know if they got their point guard. You need to make Ben Simmons earn it, because that's how you're going to get the best out of him. If you tell Ben Simmons you need to earn your spot, you're coming off the bench until you earn it and show us what you got, then you start him, and then he's like a superstar because he worked so much harder, getting better to prove that he was a point guard. If you just give him the spot, he's not going to care, and he's going to demand a trade and not play. But, and here's the thing, because like when he starts losing, times gets tough. He didn't build up the resilience of having to work for his spot, so he's going to want out because he wants a better situation, and he doesn't understand that what he has is good. Well, maybe not, but I don't know his personal life. But
point guard and primary ball handler this coming season. The expectation is that he will fully resume his career at the level he has played at prior to leaving Philadelphia.
Man, how I wish he does
There
that.
is suddenly all sorts of Simmons optimism in the air.
Mm-hmm.
The panel on NBA Today used Mikal Bridges' recent appearance on Paul.
I do want to state one thing, though, is that last year, Stephen A. Smith said the same thing, so just keep that in mind.
George's podcast, in which he expressed support for Simmons and confidence in his ability to return to form as a jumping off point for its discussion. Back in April, after the Nets announced that he would miss the rest of the 2023 season because of a nerve impingement in his back.
Oh man, that sounds rough.
Simmons' agent told New York Post Brian Lewis that he will be healthy to start the next season for sure.
Right.
Adding that his difficulties in Brooklyn were part of the recovery from his previous procedure.
That makes sense.
On July 9th in Las Vegas during Summer League.
Because I was thinking in my head, how on earth did Ben Simmons go from being a star to being an absolute, like, so bad he needs to get out the league kind of player?
Nets GM Sean Marks told reporters that Simmons had not played 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 yet, but was in great physical shape and raring to go.
Now that is bad. He needs to start playing basketball.
Based on ESPN and SNY's reporting, Simmons has made significant progress in the last few weeks.
That's good.
Simmons will not, however, play for Australia in the 2023 World Cup.
You know what? Actually, I don't blame him for doing that because he's probably in a state where he doesn't feel ready yet. But I think that it might be to his benefit as a player because that will help prep him for the NBA season.
This particular summer, he just ran out of time, Marks told reporters in Vegas. It just wasn't the right thing to do. Ideally, this will increase his chances of staying on the court throughout the 2024 season.
He doesn't want to get injured.
After trading
here's the thing about load management is that even though it seems like it's to help players not get injured, the fact that load management, and I heard Paul George say this before, but it's like, what it does is it makes the player's bodies weaker because they're not used to playing many games. So when the playoffs come, they get injured like crazy because their bodies aren't used to playing that many games. See, back in the 2000s, injuries were not really that big of a problem because everybody, bodies was used to playing the game.
KD and Kyrie Irving in February, Brooklyn has had a relatively quiet summer, but a healthy, confident Simmons would function as an enormous addition. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.
Hey, listen. If Ben Simmons does do that, though, the Brooklyn Nets not signing a contender, they could be like a 4 seed or something like that. But man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Go check out Big Herm 24. He makes pretty good videos, and he doesn't even have 10,000 subscribers, which I don't mean that as a hate, but I'm saying he deserves some more because he makes really good videos. Man, I hope y'all have a blessed day. See ya.